Alright everyone, welcome back to Genshin Impact, and we are now in version 6.1. The only major change with this one is that you have like this boss fight apparently in the main story quest that I have no idea about. But the one that we care about is this thing, which is Nefer's boss fight, at least so far. You can find this boss fight north of the Frostmoon Scions. If you explored here, there probably is already a little teleport waypoint here. If not, go from here, walk left, and you'll meet this boss fight right here. It's pretty hard to miss. Now, unfortunately, this Frostnight Herra, however you say it, is kind of a very egregious push for Nod-Krai mechanics. And the problem with that is that currently there is no character in the game given to you for free that triggers these Nod-Krai mechanics with the whole lunar charge and lunar reactions kind of thing. And it's really, really annoying for people like me trying to make guides for the common player, because not everyone has a nefer, not everyone has Lauma, Flynn's, or even Nefer. They could be just saving for Alice, or maybe Varka. And unfortunately, if you don't have any of those units, then you're kind of just out of luck, because you will then have a restriction placed on you. And it's not really a nice restriction, because let's say that you have a Neuvillette team, suddenly your Neuvillette and Farina will be doing 0 damage. And the reason why is because of this, and let me show you. The tip in-game also sucks, because it doesn't tell you half the information you need to know. So the photo is probably the most useful thing here. The boss has basically 3 phases, but the 3rd phase I'm talking about is just when you stun it. So first phase is here, it's all like bright and stuff. It's kind of a slow moving character. You can just hit it a bunch. It'll throw some projectiles at you, maybe swing at you with its wings or something, but at most, it won't kill you. And it'll just kind of sit there, float around, kind of like Solitary Swanee if you think about it. But phase 2 here is really, really, really annoying because of this little bar right here, or this gauge, and it explains it like this. After it changes its form to enter a Gloomveil state, which is basically after 3 or 4 attacks in the first phase, it'll change its state and you need to deal damage to it to bathe it in light. Like, what does that mean, man? I'll tell you what it means. It translates into hit it with everything you got. And this will force it to exit this Gloomveil state and change its elemental type to the element whose damage was received the most during the time it was Gloomveiled. What this means is not the amount of instance damage, but actually how much damage that you do to it. So let's say I have Neuvillette that hits it for 100k, and then Skirk hits it for 85k. Well, Neuvillette, unfortunately, will become completely useless because the boss will be completely immune to Hydro. So I have to swap off, and until the next time this phase happens, it doesn't register any Hydro damage at all, and vice versa. Same for Geo, same for Dendro. The only thing that you can do to circumvent this is, of course, use the lunar reaction damage, but you can also use physical damage. So any Eula mains, tonight is your night. You gotta shine, because your physical damage teams are gonna be so insane, because guess what? It will never be immune to physical damage, and it will still charge this gauge. So, congratulations, I suppose. Anyway, I digress. But before we start the fight, let's look at my units real quick, and just for the record, I am world level 8 at world adventure rank 60, so the boss is as hard as it can be for me. So, keep that in mind when looking at my units and their levels. So, let's begin. We're going to use Geo Traveler as one of our DPSs. I'm going to give her the Sword of Narcissus Roots, because not only does it look cool, but it also is pretty good. Artifacts are 4 Peace Noblesse, and her talents are pretty much as they have been in the last like 2 to 3 years. Amber, now don't panic, she is level 100, but the only reason why I gave her my constellation mats is because not only is she the OG wife, but also because she's not really doing much this fight. She's going to be using the Favonius Warbow at level 70, and again 4 Peace Noblesse again. And the reason why is because she has a really, really good elemental burst. It only costs 40 energy, and it does a lot of instances of pyro, and it works out in our favor quite a lot, because it helps reduce the amount of time we take in the second phase. Lynette here is level 95, but she will actually be our sub DPS, with the Festering Desire, but again, she's mainly also here for the Swirl / Infusion, which will help reduce the amount of time we spend in Phase 2. So VV here, again, is pretty standard, and I'm going to be using Aino as the last one, because she has an amazing Elemental Burst. Her Elemental Burst, it only costs 50 energy and lasts for 14 seconds, and if you level her up just a little bit here, this passive that unlocks gives her basically 20 hits per ult, which is amazing. So she's just here because I wanted her to work in tandem with Amber and Lynette here. The Lynette with one N, I mean. This one. Alright, so when you start the fight, you just kind of have to wait for it to spawn in. Wait for the legs to come down, otherwise you can't do damage to it. And from here, you can just kind of hit it with whatever you want, and it'll just attack you with some slow attacks like this. I can walk out of this one just fine. It's just projectile. As long as you're not too close, it's just fine. So I'm gonna hit it a couple times, and this is a dive bomb, just dash. It's pretty well choreographed. And I'm gonna slice it a bit with Lynette as well. And this is one of two big melee attacks. The other one is a gigantic swing attack with his wing. Let me see if I can trigger it real quick. Hey, come here. There it is. There we go. I'm just going to do some damage with it, and it should disappear to the middle after one more attack here. It does between 4 and 5 attacks in the first phase. I think it depends on how much damage you do to it, but it doesn't really matter at the end of the day, because this gives me more time to do damage, which is fine by me. But it should be going into the middle now. Whoop! And there it goes. Okay, so here, first you gotta dodge out of these line attacks. It's not too bad, just walk in one direction to a dash. After that, it'll do a big boom, you can dodge out of that, and immediately go for the Lynette Infusion here. You can see that I'm just wasting all my bursts and everything because I wanted to hit the boss many times. As you can see at the top, right here, it's got a big gauge going up. And now you can see that it infused Pyro. Now, also, if you don't dodge in time when it comes to the big explosion after the lines, you get knocked back. And I would advise not going far from the boss, because not only can that happen, but he also throws projectiles at you like this, and they can easily take you out. Unfortunately, if I had like New Valette or something in here, I'd be able to take advantage of this because of the fact that it's infused Pyro, and it will always be infused Pyro, so I can constantly vape. But because at the moment I'm just kind of using like a all-rounder team, I can't take advantage of that at the moment, but Sunway does it where he uses Xiangling as main DPS and infuses Hydro, so you might want to check that out in the top right corner. But here, I'm just going to do my usual business. I'm going to hit it a couple times. And that's pretty much the entire fight. But do you see how annoying this would be in case if you were, like, you have like an entire whole thing, like Yoimiya with a vape, Bennett, Xingqiu, like, comp and stuff like that. Like, it's really restrictive, and I just don't understand why this boss couldn't have existed without it. It just seems kind of unnecessary and pretty annoying. So again, we're going to dodge out of lines here, not a huge deal, but just kind of bleh, and then jump, go for it. I didn't recharge Aino fast enough, so I'm going to get out of dodge real quick. There we go. There we go. And this is pretty much the entire fight. And it goes back into the middle. We'll do this one more time. I'm going to use Aino. Limited mobility, it's not going to be too hard to dodge. It's pretty forgiving too. I'm actually going to straight up just start killing it. And there you have it. There's the boss fight. Now, unfortunately, I make it look easier than it actually is. And again, I'm using units that are specifically tailored to make this boss fight a little easier, which again, it's high instant and also high duration bursts. Let's say you don't have Geo Traveler built, you don't have Amber built, which is an unfortunate reality for a lot of people, and you don't have Aino built because she's new, you don't have a use for her. But what about these characters? Lisa, Fischl, Xingqiu, Bennett. Most likely people will have Fischl, Xingqiu, and especially Bennett built. So what will look like if we're trying to go in with 2 Electro, 1 Hydro, and a supporter. And keep in mind, these units are also not 100% built either. We have Hakushin Ring, 4-star artifacts with Lisa. Official is like half built with like a +0 attack thing, and she's running like a slingshot and such. Xingqiu is also on a horrendous crit rate, so he's basically doing no damage. I just have it here because why not? And Bennett is built with Favonia's sword and Noblesse. This is just a very standard build. But let's see what happens. We just go in there and give it a fight. And my suspicion is that Fischl will be the one suffering the most because her Oz is like literally her entire kit, right? So to just have it gone is like genuinely tragic. So let's do some damage with Electro Charged. Reset with Oz. And we're probably going to near the middle now. Okay, good. In here, let's just do a bit of dodging. And keep in mind, Oz and Lisa are the only ones with a high instance and low cost. So let's just, I don't know. We just spammed attacks there, and sure, we ended the phase fast, but look how little damage we're doing. Because it's completely immune to Electro, and basically half of the reactions are completely gone. We can't even do much, even if we use Bennett. And no matter what I do, have Oz up, have Lisa go, like, imagine like a Skirk team, where Skirk is doing no damage, right? It's like, what are you gonna do? Because she doesn't have the Nod-Krai mechanics, so therefore you're just kind of screwed. Anywho, so pretty much my major complaint is just the fact that this dumb mechanic of having to restrict an element because you don't have either a physical team or a person that does lunar reactions is just kind of, come on, man. Like, we don't even have a free-to-play unit that can take advantage of lunar reactions. Like, I know with Fischl will not trigger Lunar Charge, by the way, because she doesn't have that passive. It has to be with Flynn's. So, like, if there was an actual free-to-play unit that allowed that to happen, like, say, I know did take Flynn's passive, which, by the way, if you didn't know, actually, you can see it right here. So she doesn't have a passive right here that does any form of like lunar reactions or anything, but Flynn's, which has this passive, I wish that Ina also had it, which is specifically this one, Moonsign Benediction, Old World Secrets. When a party member triggers Electro Charge reaction, it will be converted to Lunar Charge reaction. Like, that's a fantastic passive, and I don't even know if like it would be game breaking or anything if you were to properly balance it. So like, why not have that with Ino or something like that? She seems to have the tech for it, so... But either way, it's just kind of disappointing, because otherwise this boss fight is not that bad. But because of this dumb mechanic where half your party has a potential, if not your entire party has a potential to be completely soft-locked, I don't know. It just leaves a bad taste in my mouth, you know? Just like how with the Seat Lolly boss, if you didn't have Seat Lolly or Auroron and you couldn't bring a bird in, you couldn't freeze the people in place. Just same thing. Anyway, that's it for me. I'll stop yapping. I hope this boss guide was of use to you. I hope you learned something today. And if you see me live, please come visit. I'd like to say hello to you. And of course, don't forget to check out Flynn's teapot stuff, along with my other things. And yeah, that's about it. So yeah, thank you so much. Turn in the trolley there.